done what Philadelphia did. I just simply could not have done it. You've got men out there that are fighting their guts out, trying to win the game, and I'm not saying, not blaming anybody. I personally could not have done what they did.
I agree under the circumstances, absolutely. They're getting blown out, yeah. I mean, we mentioned yesterday.
The Washington football team just finished beating the Philadelphia Eagles in a very important game in the NFC East, although it's a laughingstock of a division, which would have determined whether the Washington football team or the New York Giants would make it to the NFL playoffs. You see, if the Philadelphia Eagles win, the New York Giants make it in as opposed to the Washington football team, and if the Washington football team wins, then they make it into the wild card playoffs over the New York Giants. And what we saw during this game was unprecedented. It's something that we've never really seen before, at least not directly, which was a team that had an opportunity to win a game that completely tanked the game on national television. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here, and we're going to discuss the morality of this decision made by Doug Peterson and how it affects football and how we all feel about it. Before we get to the content, I just want to let you guys know we're giving away a PlayStation 5 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. And if you want additional entries, then follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Now that we got all that out of the way, break!
Exciting time whenever somebody's going out there for the first time. That being said, I think at all times in the NFL, the focus should be winning the football game. Nothing else takes precedence. No player evaluation. No amount of curiosity from anybody within the organization. Everything is focused in my opinion, in this league, upon winning games. You see a lot of losing teams sustain losses for a number of years. When they have bad cultures. They have cultures where you don't try and win every week, where you're trying to, what are we going to do in the draft? What are we going to do in free agency? What can we do over here? In football, this isn't basketball. One draft pick isn't going to make us a Super Bowl champion. It might be a big start to a Super Bowl championship, but it's always going to be about the team. That's the greatest thing about this sport. And culture and the way guys fight and the way guys go to prepare and the way guys, go about their business is a huge reason for success in this league and in this sport. So nothing takes precedence over trying to win a football game. I don't care who you're trying to evaluate. I don't care if you've lost every game, you're 0-15 and it's the last one you got. Everything is about winning in this league. And I know I know that won't appease a lot of people out there that always want to talk about getting better draft positions or getting looks at certain guys to see what you got for the future. But again, the moment a team feels like you as an organization aren't doing your job for me to go out there and win, all of a sudden you've shown who you are. You don't care about me or this team. You care about the future. You care about this. That's not what the focus is here. That's not what the focus is on any winning organization's team.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, you don't typically throw around the term tanking unless if it's in reference to a team that is absolutely so bad that it seems like they're playing horrible on purpose. But in order to remain a sense of integrity to the sport, typically teams don't go out of their way to tank in broad daylight. They might tell their starters to play a little bit horrible behind closed doors, and I have no evidence to support this, but you can't just blindly go out there and intentionally be bad for the sake of getting draft picks. And as you could tell from Jason Kelce's interview a little bit earlier in the video, that's at least not what he's trying to do. But the thing is, Kelce is an offensive lineman. There's only so much control he has over the game. It really matters how the rest of the team plays, and more importantly, how the head coach instructs them to play. But the fact of the matter is, tanking doesn't necessarily help the head coach as much as it helps the general manager. Sure, the head coach gets better talent to select from, but it essentially makes the general manager's job a little bit easier in the offseason. So why would the Philadelphia Eagles elect to openly tank this final game on national television First of all, did they tank to begin with? Well, absolutely. Jalen Hurts was playing a good game. Apparently, Doug Peterson went out and tried to tell Jalen Hurts to play a little worse. That's at least what I'm assuming. You can see Jalen Hurts frustrated on the bench as Nate Sudfeld took his place, despite him being perfectly fine and willing to play the rest of the game, and him even mouthing the words, "This ain't right." So why would the Philadelphia Eagles do it, and was it the right move? Well, if the Philadelphia Eagles won today, then they would finish with the 9th draft pick in this year's NFL draft, right in front of the Dallas Cowboys. And if they lost today, they would have finished with they did lose today, so they finished with the 6th overall pick, which is a significantly better draft position. It gives them more wiggle room if some team wants to trade up for a quarterback, and it makes a lot of sense why a team would rather lose this game than to fight for pride and for glory when there's a lot at stake for the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason. After an absolutely abysmal year, which saw their presumptive franchise quarterback essentially demand a trade after a horrible mismanagement of the way his career has been going this year, the Philadelphia Eagles are entering this offseason needing to potentially build around Jalen Hurts if they don't trade Carson Wentz, which means they need to get him a better O-line. They need to get him more wide receivers. So improving that draft position could be of tremendous value for them. Now, I'll tell you what I found to be fairly interesting about this entire situation. What was trending on Twitter at the time was the fact that Blake Martinez, who just tweeted ... Darius Slayer just tweeting bruh, Julian Love just tweeting an emoji with no facial expression whatsoever, Golden Tate tweeting a WTF, and Darius Slayton asking why on God's green earth is Jalen Hurts not in the game, and of course featuring a bunch of Giants players that are absolutely frustrated at the situation. The only thing I have to say to New York Giants fans, and I don't even mean this in a way to try to get you angry and riled up, but what kind of strategy is it to lose 3 of your last 4 games, finally beat the other terrible team in the NFC East, which is the Dallas Cowboys, which is even a worse team, then depend on your NFC East division rival to come out and potentially beat the Washington football team so you can make it into the NFL playoffs? You did control your own destiny. It's your fault that you're in this situation. It's not really right to be upset at the fact that the Eagles are doing what's best for them and tanking this game. Yeah, it's pretty freaking awkward. Yeah, it's 100% dishonorable. Yeah, I also don't necessarily agree with the methodology of building a team this way, because I do agree with Jason Kelsey. This is not the best and most efficient way to build and establish a culture in your locker room. You literally saw the Miami Dolphins open last year with the worst record in the NFL, only to go on a decent little spurt where they won a number of games and absolutely ruined their tank. But if you ask me, it looks like they have the most promising future out of any team in the NFL. Brian Flores seems to be establishing a nice culture over there. Tua Tagovailoa wasn't necessarily the greatest during his rookie season, but he is still a rookie. They have the number 3 overall pick in the first round and the second round of this year's NFL draft, and things are looking up for that roster after building the team the right way, finding the proper head coach for them, and filling some holes in free agency. So, at the end of the day, do I agree with what the Philadelphia Eagles did? Absolutely not. Do I think they have a right to do it and see the rationale in doing it? Yeah, I do. But I don't necessarily think it sends the right message to the rest of the locker room, and this could potentially be a reason why we could see Doug Peterson get fired over the offseason, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about the Philadelphia Eagles' blatant tank? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.